It's morphin time. Pterodactyl.
Hi there, this is Datila bringing you your Impact Wrestling review. Okay, so tonight's Impact kicked off with the #1 Contenders match. It was a Bullet Club in the form of El Phantasmo and Chris Bay versus FinJuice, and whoever won this match got to face the Good Brothers at Turning Point. This was a great way to start off Impact. I really like this match. Some things that I noticed during this match, ELP with that purple nurple on Juice Robinson, that looked like it hurt poor Juice Robinson. FinJuice was working together amazingly to isolate Chris Bay from ELP. Finley, during the match, did a crossbody off the top rope trying to take out ELP, but Hikuleo blocked him. He threw him out of the way, and he took the crossbody himself. And in the end, Bullet Club ended up being victorious. So now we know at Turning Point, it's going to be the Bullet Club versus the Good Brothers. The Good Brothers actually did come out and attack the Bullet Club, but they attacked Chris Bay and ELP. Hikuleo then took out Anderson, and he stared down at Gallows, and they exchanged blow, and then Hikuleo threw Gallows out of the ring. Again, this is a great way to build towards their match, towards Turning Point. I'm actually really excited for this match. This is one of the matches I'm looking forward to. So this was a good show, very good match all around. So then after this, we get a backstage segment with Gia Miller, where she asked Scott D'Amore why Josh Alexander wasn't involved in this triple threat match. And Scott D'Amore says that he loves the passion of the Impact faithful and knows how much they are behind Alexander. He is too. And that nobody's in his corner more than he is. Then Josh Alexander shows up saying that he overheard everything Scott D'Amore was saying and is confused as to why he doesn't return his phone calls. And that he's perfectly fine telling everybody else that he can't work, and says that he deserves to be #1 contender. He isn't wrong, by the way. He does deserve to be #1 contender after that stunt Moose pulled on him. And Scott D'Amore says that he and Josh have a great rapport, and that he even broke his wife into the wrestling business, and that he hopes Josh Alexander can trust him. And Scott D'Amore makes it a point to say that he wants Josh Alexander to be focused, and he's going to wrestle Suzuki next week, and says that after that, he thinks Alexander will be ready and focused to face Moose. To me, I think this is a great way to prolong the feud between him and Moose. Obviously, they're not going to just take the strap off of Moose and give it to Alexander. That it's going to take time to build to Moose versus Josh Alexander. And when that match finally does happen, it's going to be a banger. That's for sure. And Alexander is going to get his revenge on Moose. So after this, we're getting a most professional segment with Brian Mayers. Hello. And Brian Mayers asks, why does he always have to start these lessons by yelling? And VSK says that there's no excuse for Mayers to lose to Beagle, and it was an embarrassing loss. Next week, he challenges Beagle to a match, and he says that Beagle was the worst student he's ever had. So it's going to be the most professional versus the worst student he's ever had. And poor outlandish Zicky gets slapped twice during this segment. I actually really like this segment. It's building towards the classic student versus teacher, but more on that later because Sam Beal does have a segment later down the road. So this, we get Kaleb with Decay versus Minrou Suzuki. Honestly, this was just a squash match. It really was. There was nothing else to it. It was a quick, short match. Of course, Minrou Suzuki won. Josh Alexander was watching in the back. And now that this match is over with, I am so looking for Josh Alexander versus Minrou Suzuki. That's going to be a very fantastic match. So then after this, we get a Moose segment. And he's saying that he has 3 men who are pissed off at him for different reasons. He says he tried to break Eddie Edwards' neck, and that Matt Cardona has been wrestling 15, 16 years and took away his one chance to be in the main event. He says that he screwed Morrissey before Morrissey had the chance to screw him. And that he's the most dangerous man in the locker room. And that whoever wins should be concerned because they will be facing the greatest champion in pro wrestling history, the wrestling god, Moose. That was a great promo, by the way. I think it really establishes Moose as what he says he is, a wrestling god. He acknowledges that there's 3 different men. Actually, there's 4 different men who are pissed at him for different reasons. But hey, this builds towards this builds towards more history between them and Moose. So pretty excited. So next we had the tag team match. It was Decay versus the Undead Bridesmaids. This match was kind of short. Of course, the IInspiration came out to watch the match, and this caused a distraction for the Undead Brides, or distraction for Decay, and the Undead Brides take advantage of that distraction. However, it wasn't enough to win the match, as Decay ended up victorious, and the IInspiration came down and got a closer look. So I'm actually really excited for the rematch at Turning Point. I mean, I like Decay, but I like the IInspiration more, and I hope the IInspiration do retain at Turning Point, which they more likely are. And then we get a backstage promo with Heath and Rhyno. And Heath basically saying that this past year has been tough. And all he really wanted to do was to get back to Rhyno. And that the point he's trying to make is that there's still tension between them and VBD. And Heath got his Rhyno back, and his little girl's got Uncle Rhyno back. And Rhyno basically says he can't purge the poison out of him alone. And that's what Heath is here for. And at Turning Point, he will purge the poison out of himself. And he will gore everyone that gets in front of them. So again, I don't know if this is going to end their rivalry. I thought for sure it was going to be over by now, but I'm thinking that whoever wins this match is going to be the end of their rivalry. I'm not entirely sure. I'm hoping it does. But what do you guys think? Do you guys think this is going to be the end of their rivalry? We'll see. So then after this, we get a little fun segment with the IInspiration, basically saying that the Undead Bridesmaid had one job, and that was to take care of Decay on their behalf. And then Cassie Lee says that if they can't inspire them to take care of one simple task, then they're just going to have to take them out of their Knockouts division next week. So then it cuts to Chris Sabin saying that Ace Austin looks stupid and ridiculous walking around in an I Beat Chris Sabin shirt. And he challenges him to a match at Turning Point. And at Turning Point, he says he's going to take that shirt, wipe his ass with it, and shove it down Ace Austin's throat. Honestly, like, I really like that. I like this rivalry. I like with Ace Austin and Chris Sabin. I think the question is who needs to win more. I think Ace Austin needs to win a little bit more than Chris Sabin. I think Ace Austin should challenge for the Impact title down the road, but we'll see what that leads to. And then we get a match with Madison Rayne versus Mercedes Martinez. Mercedes mocked Madison by doing the whole camera thing, which was pretty funny. And of course, Mercedes Martinez ended up winning this match. After the match, Madison used the steel chair on Martinez. Mickie James came out and attacked Rayne, and she checked on poor Mercedes. But what does Mercedes do? She ends up attacking her, basically sending a message to James. And I'm actually really excited for that match. I cannot wait to see that match. All right. So next we got a Steve Maclin promo, and says that once again he lost, just like at Bound for Glory, and that's what the record books say. But the reality is that no one has pinned him or has been able to submit him. Not a single person. Not Trey Miguel, and he deserves to be in that X Division match. And then Trey Miguel shows up and says that he wants a triple threat match, and that Scott Morton shows up and says that he has to defeat Laredo Kid, and if he does, he will be added to the match, and it will be a triple threat. And then if not, he can sit his ass at home because Scott is tired of Maclin getting involved in stuff that doesn't concern him. And I'm actually really hope that Steve Maclin wins that Turning Point, because we all know, like he said, he's undefeated. There's no way Laredo Kid is going to defeat Steve Maclin. No way. Steve Maclin is winning this. He's taking that title. He's winning this, and at Turning Point, he's taking that title. And if he doesn't, then he's definitely not the one who's going to eat the pin. It's either going to be Trey Miguel or it's going to be Laredo Kid. But honestly, you know what I think? I'm going to retract that statement. I honestly think that Trey Miguel is going to retain. It's going to be a triple threat match, but Trey Miguel is going to retain. Why? He's going to pin Laredo Kid, and then we're finally going to get a one-on-one match: Steve Maclin versus Trey Miguel for the X Division title. I honestly think that think that's what's going to happen. And if it doesn't happen, then Steve Maclin would win at Turning Point. But more than likely, we're going to get that one-on-one match for the X Division title. And Steve Maclin's still taking that belt off Trey Miguel. All right, so then next we get a backstage segment with Sam Beal, who is in the company of Rich Swann and Willie Mack. So Sam Beal says that he was the first student under the learning tree, and he couldn't thank Brian Myers enough for that, and it meant a lot to him. And next week, they'll come face to face, and it's one thing to have a notebook full of his knowledge. It's another thing when that bell rings and there's no notebook in sight. Nothing to reference, and that's the real challenge. And he said that last week he beat him, but he knows that 9 times out of 10, it could have gone the other way. He said that he's seen him up close and personal and has been at ringside against his match with Christian Cage. He said he doesn't want to have Rich Swann or Willie Mack out there because he needs to do this on his own and needs to prove that he can stand on his own 2 feet. And it's going to be a classic student versus the teacher. And that next week, he's going to bring everything that Brian Myers taught him to the ring. And honestly, I really, really loved this promo and this segment. So you just felt Sam Beal's passion. You felt it. And I really like the storyline. And it's like he said, it's a classic student versus teacher. And in my opinion, the student, Sam Beal, is going to surpass Brian Myers. Because like he said, everything that he's going to bring is what Brian Myers taught him. Everything. So that makes this match even more interesting, and I cannot wait for this match. Honestly, I'm really excited for this match. Like, I hope Sam Beal wins. I hope he does. Poor him if he doesn't win. And so then we got Rohit Raju versus Rocky Romero. It was a good match between them. There was a lot of back and forth in this match. Romero had Rohit in the armbar, but Raj distracted the ref. And in the end, Rohit Raju ended up winning. This was a great match. I have got nothing more to say about this match. This was a really great match. Then we get a little quick backstage segment with Johnny Swinger and Hernandez. And Hernandez says that Johnny Swinger gave him a job when no one else would, and he got themselves a match against Decay. Johnny Swinger is originally upset because it's 2-on-3. And Dino shows up saying that he was looking for a partner. And Johnny Swinger is upset that he brings the ham and egger Falabala. And I think this was such a hilarious segment and promo. Honestly, I like Johnny Swinger. He's hilarious. He's the comedy king of Impact Wrestling. He doesn't get enough credit for it. And Falabala says he only accepts because he wants Swinger to owe him. So, oh my God. After this, we get a quick little promo of Chelesa Green saying that she wants a digital media championship because it's shiny. And since Skylar lost, there needs to be a new #1 contender. So it'll be Chelesa Green versus Alicia Edwards versus Matthew Wainwright versus Jake something. I don't know who's going to win this match. Maybe Chelesa Green, but we'll definitely have to wait and see who wins this. And then in the end, in the main event, we had a 3-way contenders match. It was Eddie Edwards versus Matt Cardona versus W. Morrissey. Whoever won this match was going to face Moose. All right, so basically throughout the whole match, Morrissey showed off his strength. He was dominating Cardona and Edwards. He did a double chokeslam on Edwards and Cardona. Moose was shown watching the match. And of course, Cardona and Edwards had to team up to take down Morrissey. But in the end, Eddie Edwards won. He won because Matt Cardona and him worked together to send Morrissey over the top rope. And that allowed to have a one-on-one match between him and Cardona and allowed Eddie Edwards to pick up the win. Overall, tonight's show was amazing. You definitely have to stop sleeping on Impact Wrestling. I don't know why so many people don't give Impact the time of day, but definitely you want good wrestling, Impact is your show. I like tonight's show. Definitely, you guys are missing out. But thank you guys so much for watching this review. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye.